Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Forward.
Forward. I am going forward.
Let's go forward.
Forward is my #1 favorite direction.
We've drawn the line against moving backward on reproductive rights.
Forward is the only way to go.
We don't think politicians in Washington are very smart about controlling healthcare choices that women are perfectly capable of making themselves.
You said it, Mr. President.
And now we need you to stand behind your words.
To stand up for reproductive freedom.
To stand up against attacks on women, doctors,
And our constitutional rights.
To move reproductive rights.
And healthcare forward.
Guaranteeing every woman's right
To make our own decisions about
Her reproductive health.
whether she lives in California
or Kalamazoo.
Is most definitely forward.
Clearing the way for every woman to get the full range of healthcare she needs.
That's forward too.
Are you sensing a theme?
Putting science before politics on reproductive health issues.
forward.
I remember these.
Ensuring every woman's access
To affordable contraception without a copayment.
And no matter who she works for,
That is a huge step forward. See that? Forward, right there.
But there are a lot of forces pulling in the other direction too.
more than a dozen new laws attacking reproductive freedom in the last 4 months alone. That's like setting a new land speed record for moving backward.
This right here,
Seriously, this right here? 5 dudes.
5 dudes.
Can I not say dudes? 5 men.
5 dudes talking about why birth control isn't essential health care for women. That is backwards.
Can we lose the holy cow? Holy cow, is that backward?
Any politician who thinks that they know better than a woman and her doctor
Is just straight up backward too.
That's back there. That is back in the Stone Age, backwards.
Mandatory medical procedures that women don't need?
backward.
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 Regulating reproductive health care providers out of business.
Come on. I mean, do I have to even say?
This is kind of like moonwalking backwards on roller skates downhill.
Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, on this show, we talk about everything under the sun. And tonight's topic is something very interesting for both men and women. And that is reproductive health and reproductive rights. And joining us is, to talk about this fascinating issue, is the Executive Director of the Philippine NGO Council on Population Health and Welfare.
Or PNGOC.
Or PNGOC. This is Ms. Eden R. Divini Gracia, PhD. Welcome to Philippines Uncut.
Yes, thank you, buddy. And I'm really very much thankful, and you invited me here. So that I can also say something about the forthcoming 7th Asia-Pacific Conference on Reproductive Health and Rights to be held in PICC on January 21 to 24.
Which is a few days from now.
Few days from now, yes. And we're so busy preparing for this.
Actually,
yeah.
ma'am, I'm very happy to have you here because as followers of my TV program know, I really am a very strong advocate of reproductive rights, women's rights, and related topics. But before we talk about that, let's talk about you po muna and your organization. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so the Philippine NGO Council, or PNGOC, has been in this field, in reproductive health field, for 27 years already. And we started like really focusing only on family planning, but when reproductive health was born, the terminology was born in 1991 in Cairo conference, then we are one of the NGOs which is really pushing forward.
Good word, forward.
Yeah, forward.
Yes.
The plan of action of the ICPD, the International Conference for Population and Development.
Yes.
So in fact, the ICPD will have its 20th anniversary in 2015. And the 7th Asia-Pacific Conference on Reproductive Health and Rights, or some call it UpCrash because of the Candy Crush, is really a very strategic conference because the day of reckoning will be, the year of reckoning will be in 2015.
Yes,
So
yes.
what has happened after 20 years? So the Asia Pacific countries, like-minded people like us who are really who are very staunch advocates of reproductive health and rights, are saying that perhaps it's about time, really, to examine what has been done and to move forward again
Good.
after 2015.
Opo.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the conference in detail,
Yes,
let's talk
yeah.
about reproductive rights
Okay.
and healthcare. Now, interesting, you mentioned earlier that you said your NGO is involved initially with family planning.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And the problem in the Philippines is that when most people talk about reproductive rights and healthcare, immediately they think of it, oh,
Yes.
this is just about family planning.
Yes.
Now, please enlighten us.
Okay. Ang ano nga natin is, I hope you don't mind if I... No?
Please, please.
Ang akala ng iba, karamihan, especially the Catholic Church, that reproductive health is family planning. It's not. Family planning is only one of the elements of reproductive health care, and that includes, sabi ko nga, is adolescent sexuality, no? And we have the prevention against sexually transmitted diseases, including HIV and AIDS. And we have anti-cervical cancer and cancers affecting the reproductive health system. We have infertility management for those who cannot bear children or whatever. And then we have also reproductive health care among the elderly. And then we have, of course, women empowerment and gender equality. And you have several of these, no, na talagang they are all connected.
Yes.
So you cannot isolate family planning, etc., yung ganon, as a standalone, what you call this, concern. But we must know that women, especially women, are the ones bearing children, should be given, let's say, appropriate information, right information, at the right time, at the right place, by the right people. So, ang karamihang pinakamaraming mga anak dito sa atin ay yung mamihirap.
Yes,
Diba?
yes.
Yun ang ating talagang isang malaking concern. So, ang natin ay, ang gobyerno, lalo ng local governments, ay dapat magbigay ng talagang, they have to work, really, no? To give the right information to these women, to the couples, on how to space their children, when do they want, to guide them, no? To give them what you call informed choice.
Yes.
Right information, enough information for the couple to be able to decide.
In effect, this is really what the RH bill or RH law
Yes,
is all
that's
about.
it.
It's
It's
about
all about-
empowerment and giving them information.
Yes.
So, Madam, I have a question. Why the opposition? Why is there so much opposition to the RH law?
Oh,
I mean,
well.
we already passed. It's now languishing.
Yes.
There's a TRO
Yeah.
on it by the Supreme Court. So
And I tell you, until now, the arguments which were really raised in Congress and in the Senate are the same arguments being raised by the opposition in the Supreme Court. No, ang sabi kasi nila that reproductive health is anti-life.
Yun
It
nga,
is
and-
pro-abortion, etc. But it's not.
Now, okay, let's talk about that. Interesting,
Yeah.
you mentioned the word abortion. I mean, it's a very
Yes,
controversial word
yes.
and one that people don't want to mention often. Now, what is your stand? What is your group stand on abortion?
Okay, abortion is unconstitutional. And of course, our lawmakers are not stupid enough really to pass a law which is against the Constitution. And I don't think, because it's a law and this is a product of so many intellectual, emotional arguments and what you call these defenses and so on, I don't think the government is stupid really to pass such law.
Okay.
Okay?
So no abortion. I mean, when you talk about your
Yes.
advocacy, this does not include abortion.
Yeah, because it's
against the
illegal,
Constitution.
it's unconstitutional.
Now, the opposition from, to, let's say, reproductive health care and the RH law, for instance, is coming mainly, chiefly from the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And, they have a very interesting tagline. They say, and you see their bumper stickers, you see sometimes even inside the churches, it says,
No.
Yes to life, no to the RH bill. And so a lot of people get somehow deluded or misinformed that, again, as you said, the RH law, reproductive health law, is you're anti-life.
Yeah,
Now,
because
what you're saying is it's
yeah.
not the case.
Reproductive health is about life. It is pro-life, It is not anti-life. Okay? It is pro-poor. It is not anti-poor. Okay? It is all about life. Not only the life of the woman, but also the life of the child, the life of the baby, the life of senior citizens like me. Okay? Mga ganyan, di ba?
Opo.
Yun yun.
Yes, yes.
Kaya ang batas hindi talaga mag-aano yan. Hindi siya maglilihis. Kasi pangkahalat, yun,
Yes.
the welfare of
Yes.
the people, of the majority.
And your NGO is basically this PNGOC is basically an advocacy and policy
Yes,
body.
yes.
Now, I assume when you say that you actively engage government, politicians, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Do you guys reach out to our brothers and sisters in the Catholic Church to somehow
Oh yes,
enlighten
we
them?
do. Yes, we do. In fact, when we were advocating for the enactment of the law, we had we had multi-sectoral groupings. We had also the interfaith people with us, the youth most especially, and then we had the media, we had champions, and then we had what you call the mass base with us. So kami mga NGOs, we had what you call, meron kaming mga responsibility areas and accountability areas. So us, gaya ng natoka sa amin, PNGOC, we're more on the local media.
Yes.
So we trained them, we gave them seminars, meron tayong mga partnerships with them. We had also talk shows like this. We had dialogues with the politicians, facilitated by the media people, and so on. And then we had also an NGO na talagang target ay interfaith groups.
What is the response from the interfaith groups?
The response was very open, but of course there were some Catholic priests and some people from the sector who are really very quiet, who just say, okay, we're in, but ano muna kami,
How about
something
from
like
the
that.
Islam, from the Muslim groups?
Well,
What
from
is
the
response?
Muslim group, very good. Yeah, because meron din sila kasing tawag doon, may fatwa sila, no?
Yes.
And then meron ding nag-train din yung mga ibang grupo, hindi naman nag-train, nag-disseminate ang information, etc. Mga dialogues with the ulamas and so on. So talagang tinitake up nila yan. And even among the mga Christian groups and non-Catholic groups. Talagang very open ang debate, very open ang argument, etc. It's not really a matter of coming up with what we call mga negatives, mga nega-nega, mga ganyan. It's really opening up their minds and really
Yes.
understanding
But the problem with
the
the Catholic
issues.
Church sometimes is that from the onset, from the start, parang very hard
Yes.
hard line right away, very much against this. What is their, in your many dialogues with the Catholic Church, and
Oh, well,
what is
you
their
know,
main opposition to the RH
ang ano nito
law?
kasi is institution yan. You're fighting you're really confronting or really facing an institution.
And it's just the front people you're seeing, but it's a
Yes.
whole institution behind
Yes.
this against this.
And money. Oh, yung mga ganun ba?
I'm sorry, what did you say? All right, go.
Okay. So, it's really, sabi nga namin, it's really fighting, no? Yung bang talagang, what you call
Struggle.
this, confronting or struggling with the church, etc., etc. You are facing an institution. Eh, tayo't mga tao lang naman tayo, mga ano lang.
Very
And then
powerful,
we represent the
very
grassroots.
powerful,
yeah.
very well-funded
Yes,
as well, very
traditionally,
funded,
and
very
traditionally, ano
influential.
sila, and then you're talking about yung a century-old belief, etc. So it's really a difficult struggle.
It'll take time.
But after 14 years, victorious kami. See, relentless, talagang we were not even, bothered or really, hindi bumaba yung aming loob na makipaglaban.
Napasa yung RH law,
Oo.
pero unfortunately now, it's languishing,
Sabi ko nga,
it's in limbo.
only in the Philippines.
Okay, what is your, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, are you optimistic that the Supreme Court will act with expeditiously on this, or what is your
Yes.
forecast for the RH
Well,
law?
we say that we hope that in 3 months' time something will happen. But of course, naintindihan din naman natin ang Supreme Court, ang dami rin iniintindi. Di ba?
yes,
We have the
yes.
PIDAP and all this and all that.
Yes.
But we are very much optimistic that the Supreme Court really have to lift the TRO.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Ma'am, let's talk about the status naman of RH, of reproductive health care in the Philippines. What is the situation now? I mean, your NGO has a lot of grassroots connections and contacts. How bad is it, or how good is it? How bad is it?
Oh, well, I would say that we're still struggling, meaning to say we're still looking forward, no? But I can say that the Department of Health is really doing a lot of work on this, especially reducing the maternal death rate, no? And meron tayong mga maternal death reviews sa mga local government units, tapos na-upgrade yung mga rural health centers in such a way that pregnant women can really be encouraged, has the access to go to clinics for prenatal care, delivery, and postnatal care. Yeah.
But Madam, I have a question. If this is already being done by the DOH on a national level, so
nasa local government units, being implemented by the local government.
So how will this be augmented by the RH law if it's already being carried out?
Oh, well,
by the
very
DOH?
good.
DOH.
Ang in-expect natin because kasi demand and supply yan, di ba?
Opo.
You have prepared the supply, the service delivery system. So the thing here is we have to popularize and really promote reproductive health care among women, not only among women, but everybody. Yung ganun ba? So that they would know where to get their services, they would know where to get the information, who will give them the right information, and so on. That, I would say, that the Department of Health, together with the local government units, are really doing this very well.
So the RH law, in effect, will really firm up this partnership with the DOH and
the local government units. And more so, the local government units will be able to set aside budget for contraceptives and other medicines, immunization, and so on.
At the moment, what is the situation with the
Oh,
LGU?
well, right now, this is family planning, repro health, all this have been politicized. You must know that, no? And some local government
refuse.
Yeah, some government executives, when they takot sa pare, takot sa obispo, takot sa
during elections.
Especially during election. So they will not really buy contraceptives. Ang iba dyan, talagang wala, zero, whatever. Now, if there is a law, then the local executive would not say that, okay, wala na, hindi na kailangan.
I have no choice.
I have no
I'm
choice.
following the law.
But to follow the law. Yeah, that's it. And that's really very important. Yeah? Kasi talagang kung may batas, may batas. Wala kang gawin kundi sundin. Yung gano'n, di ba? Yun ang ano.
Interesting. Now, let's talk about itong sitwasyon natin sa Pilipinas. This is being mirrored in other Asian countries, let's say in other ASEAN countries. Kasi nga, in a few days' time, you're going to have your conference, the 7th, in the series. Is this being mirrored? Is this situation being mirrored in other Asian countries?
Yes, kasi most of the developing countries, just like us, now we belong to the developing countries, marami din dyan, the likes of, let's say, Vietnam, Cambodia,
Do they face the same challenges we do?
Same challenges. Contraceptive prevalence rate is very low. Maternal death rate may be high or not really very much satisfactory. And then, of course, yung ating mga nutrition among children, isa rin problema, yung mga gano'n ba? So, ang kailangan rin talaga, political will, at saka yung talagang, yung political will ng ating gobyerno.
Pero what you mentioned about that, yung ating mga kasama in the region, more or less we share the same socio-economic problems.
Same, yeah.
Pero my question is, yung opposition to the reproductive health care, yung opposition sa atin, chiefly from the Catholic Church, pareho lang ba sa in Indonesia where maybe ulamas or in Malaysia? Or
No. In fact, Indonesia is one of the best family planning programs.
Really?
Yeah, magaling sila. Talagang all out ang support ng government.
So there's no opposition to the use of contraception?
None.
The ulamas don't have any opposition?
Wala. Oo.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Pero tayo lang naman ng Catholic country sa Asia Pacific, di ba? And ayun ang yun.
What about in Vietnam po? Ano pong experience yun dun sa Vietnam? Kasi marami rin Katoliko sa Vietnam.
Oo, pero more so, maganda, pa rin. Still pa rin. Umaarangkada pa rin yung mga yung programa.
talagang there
Yung
must be
ganyan.
a fundamental difference between the Catholic doctrine and, let's say, I don't know much about
Me too, yeah,
Islamic
yeah.
doctrine, but just by the way you meant what you said, the most populous Muslim country in the world, mas maganda pa yung reproductive health care nila doon, and
yes.
contraceptives are available openly there
Yes.
and being
Ever
supported by
since
the government.
naman.
In the
ever
most
since.
populous Muslim country in the
Yes,
world.
ever
Imagine that.
since, yeah.
Po. Now, okay, let's talk about, okay, interesting, I read your position paper, and it mentions there po yung inequitable and oppressive gender structures that are somehow hampering the
Yes.
good reproductive health care.
Alam mo naman ang Pilipinas, di ba? Patriarchal, macho, etc.
Why should that affect
Everything. Well, the decision.
women's access?
Well, because the woman cannot decide by herself. Lalo na pag if the husband is really yung masyadong yung woman disempowered by the husband.
And the
Something-
husband is maybe the sole breadwinner,
Yes,
the woman doesn't
that's
have her own
it.
money.
Yes, yeah. But especially in the rural areas, you must know that, di ba? So, a lot of information, dissemination, education, yung nga sinasabi nga natin. Kasi yung, di ba, yung ignorance, yung kulang sa kaalaman, yung kulang sa self-respect, yung kulang sa kaalaman ng karapatan ng bawat isa, ayun ang wala sa ating, yung hindi naman wala, hindi masyadong na-emphasize. So yan ang kaya kami mga NGOs, together with our partners at the communities, are the ones really helping them out.
How are you helping them? Alam niyo ho, itong mga sinasabi yung struktura,
Okay.
traditional gender roles, gender
Yes,
ang hirap,
yes.
ang hirap
Ang
buwagin
hirap.
to. So, what are you guys doing
So
to
nagpo-form
empower
tayo
them?
ng mga women's group, sumasakay tayo sa mga programang iba.
Opo.
Like mothers classes, yung mga ganyan, yan sa mga CCT, yung mga family planning seminars. Tapos meron din tayong sa mga kooperatiba, we do not reinvent the wheel. So what is there, we ride on. Yung ganun ba? And then we help strengthen through, let's say, training of trainers. Kasi hindi naman kami pirmi nandun, kaya mag-iiwan ka talaga ng ng technology or whatever.
Yes,
Yung ganyan. And then also, meron tayong mga sinasabing maraming ginagawa ngayon ng gobyerno, gaya ng premarital counseling, na for married couples, for engaged couples about to be married, meron sila mga very intensive seminar. So doon pa lang tinutulungan, binibigyan na sila ng ng mga idea, ng mga di ba? Yung parang sort of saying magpa-plan sila ng kanilang married life, yung mga ganyan. Hindi lang tungkol sa kabataan, sa pag-anak nila, whatever, but also even their home economics.
Yes, yes.
Kasi very comprehensive yung module.
Maganda yan, maganda.
Very comprehensive ang module. At ang maganda dito, yung mga population officer, at saka yung mga taga-DSWD, yung mga taga-DILG, yung mga staff ng LGU,
Opo.
sila yung nagbibigay.
Alam niyo po, this kind of mirrors yung seminar that Catholics are required to go
Yes,
to
oo.
before they get married. Pero
Correct.
parang mas comprehensive yung
Comprehensive ito.
ino-offer ninyo.
Yes.
Ano po yung response sa probinsya, lalo na sa
Okay,
ganito?
magaling. Kasi ang din dyan ay maganda yung module Ang galing talaga. Ito pinag-isipan talaga. Pinag-isipan hindi lang yung, kasi dati-dati, family planning seminar lang. Ngayon, ginawa na talagang very comprehensive. From the moment, didalaw kayo, nagkakaano dyan, ano yung plano ninyo sa buhay, ano yung. So, may life planning sila as a couple. So, in partnership. Kaya ang sabi ang mga kwento nga ng ibang mga PPO, mga ibang population officer, ma'am, alam mo, nasalubong namin si ganito, tapos sinabi nila, ma'am, kayo yung nagbigay sa amin ng seminar. Alam niyo, ma'am, kung nasa na kami ngayon, yung ba magandang na nakikita nila, na namimit nila sa karsada.
They were able to plan their life well.
Yes, because of them.
Oho. Bakit kayong simbahan katoliko walang ganyang
Hindi, meron
practical?
yan. I think meron din siguro, no?
Parang
Kaya
mas interested sila to
Kasi
increase
this
the
more-
numbers.
But this is more the practical one.
Opo,
the
that's what's
practical-
necessary.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's right.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
we have to pause for a break.
Yes.
But guys, don't go away because more of reproductive health and rights when Philippines Uncut returns.
Gwapo mo pala.
way for every woman to get the full range of health care she needs.
That's forward, too.
Are you sensing a theme?
Putting science before politics on reproductive health issues.
Forward!
I remember these.
Ensuring every woman's access
To affordable contraception without a copayment.
And no matter who she works for?
That is a huge step forward. See that? Forward, right there.
But there are a lot of forces pulling in the other direction, too.
More than a dozen new laws attacking reproductive freedom in the last 4 months alone. That's like setting a new land speed record for moving backward.
This right here,
Seriously, this right here? 5 dudes.
5 dudes.
Can I not say dudes? 5 men.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Forward.
Forward.
5
dudes talking about why birth control isn't essential health care for women. That is backwards.
Can we lose the holy cow? Holy cow, is that backward?
Any politician who thinks that they know better than a woman and her doctor
Is just straight up backward too.
That's back there. That is back in the Stone Age, backwards.
Mandatory medical procedures that women don't need?
backward.
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 Regulating reproductive health care providers out of business.
Come on. I mean, do I have to even say?
This is kind of like moonwalking backwards on roller skates downhill.
Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, on this show, we talk about everything under the sun, and tonight's topic is something very interesting for both men and women, and that is reproductive health and reproductive...
I'm going forward.
Let's go forward.
Forward is my #1 favorite direction.
We've drawn the line against moving backward on reproductive rights.
Forward is the only way to go.
We don't think politicians in Washington are very smart about controlling healthcare choices that women are perfectly capable of making themselves.
You said it, Mr. President.
And now we need you to stand behind your words.
To stand up for reproductive freedom.
To stand up against attacks on women, doctors,
And our constitutional rights.
To move reproductive rights.
And healthcare forward.
Guaranteeing every woman's right
To make our own decisions about
Her reproductive health.
whether she lives in California
or Kalamazoo.
Is most definitely forward.
Clearing the way.
rights. And joining us is, to talk about this fascinating issue, is the Executive Director of the Philippine NGO Council on Population Health and Welfare.
Or
Miss-
PNGOC.
Or PNGOC. This is Miss Eden, our Divini Gracia PhD. Welcome to Philippines Uncut.
Yes, thank you, buddy. And I'm really very much thankful, and Ritoko, you invited me here. So that I can also say something about the forthcoming 7th Asia-Pacific Conference on Reproductive Health and Rights to be held in PICC on January 21 to 24.
Which is a few days from now.
Few days from now, yes. And we're so busy preparing for this.
Actually,
Yeah.
ma'am, you know,